you've got to make it consistent enough for players so that they can be working out that I'm 2 seconds behind this guy, and now they're pulling away by another half second. When you're talking about such fine detail in time gaps between cars, it's extremely difficult. Most racing games, you're probably 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 seconds difference per lap each lap. That doesn't really work for Formula 1 because then you can't bring the strategy into play. So what we've done is, whilst the car handling is very authentic, it's fairly easy to get up to the 90% of the speed of the car. Pushing it is much harder. We want you to concentrate on other things, protecting the engine, saving fuel, eking things out as you get used to the car. And then on top of that, one of the biggest things that we can do to mix races up is a weather system. We put a lot of time into the weather system. I personally think it's fantastic. It affects the physics on the car as well. All the different water clearing rates of the tyres. When you're following a car down the straight and it's raining and he's got wet tyres on and he's got slicks, the best stuff staying in his weight is he's actually clearing the track. You can see the drying line on the circuit, which you might be able to see in one of these replays of races in the circuit.
Yeah, so you've got the rain, obviously rain affects itself in terms of rain coming down, puddles on the track where you can see that. This is rain at its heaviest. It's going to get pretty hairy as the cars begin to pick up speed and you get this sort of spray pickup for the tyres and Bruce has held it down in the line. You can see the rain line on the back of these cars as well. As Steve said, it affects the handling of the car, but it is a fully dynamic weather system, so it's not just about it's wet or it's dry. It's much of the experience is getting through what is the weather going to be. The weather's got its own weather system depending on which track you are in the world. So you might find that a race starts dry and then transfers into wet, and then maybe it goes back to dry again. So at those sort of phases of the race, you really need to make a call about whether you're going to stay out on the dry tyres or you're going to make an early gamble to come in for intermediates. And the key thing from talking to the Formula 1 teams about wet races is that really is the chance for the lower teams to elevate themselves amongst the higher runners. It negates all the performance advantages that McLaren's, Ferraris and Red Bulls have in front of the field. So these are really the sort of key races for you in the game.
I think beyond the weather system there's just a number of things that come together in order to make Formula 1 what it is. Yes, you've got to be particularly put out on the track, you've got to get the most of your car, but it's obviously you've got some time to think about the strategy and tactics of it as well. And I don't really think you can underestimate what you actually get from beating somebody who's in a lower class of car by your use of tactics, hitting at the right time, as Paul mentioned, spotting the weather changes, knowing the tracks inside out, knowing what your car's capable of, the different compounds that are available on the different circuits. These things come into play and it's really satisfying to actually pass somebody when you know you've done that because you've been planning ahead of time.
Think about losing that position, think about how to get it back.
So another couple of elements in the game is obviously damage. So damage is anything from just on the most hard simulation setting, you can kind of just take off one of your front wing end plates and it has a knock-on effect to the handling of the car. Pit stops as well. We wanted it possible, if you've got a weather system that's comprehensive as this, we want it possible that actually everyone can go into pits at the same time. So you can get a situation, say in Spa, where it's bone dry and all of a sudden the heavens open and it really goes straight to heavy rain where all 24 cars pour into the pits at the same time and you're queuing up to 200 guys in the garage through all the different stages of the pit stops. And it's obviously struggling.
A lot of this stuff carries over into multiplayer as well. We've put a lot of effort this year into the single player experience, trying to build a decent career mode, making you feel like you're the driver in the world of Formula 1. But these things also go across into multiplayer as well. So the weather system works there, all the pit crews are there for the different teams. You get a lot out of the fact that we've put a lot of time and effort into things that normally racing developers avoid. Normally they avoid the weather because it's such a hard thing to get right, it's so CPU intensive. It's really straining the machines now. We're doing this with 24 cars and stuff like that. And like we do half a grid, there's 12 cars in there, but all the pit crews are there. So you've got 15-man pit crew, you have about 200 people in the pit lane. I think there's like 200,000 people in the grandstands in the actual game environment for the track.
Yeah, that changes depending on the day, so there's less people turning up to practice, more for qualifying. We're trying to get that level back still. And some of the race weekends as well. Obviously more support for Ferrari tracks like Monza or Italian support. We'll start to build up for the game as well. Obviously all the 2010 season, so you'll get to race career before it's actually raced in real life. All the cars and all the drivers will start the season back in March.
So I think just to kind of conclude those things, it's important for us to say that We've put an awful lot into this game. We've got a lot of effort into it. We're very passionate about Formula 1. We've got loads of ideas for the future, but we knew when we relaunched Formula 1, it would have to be something pretty special. We put as much as we can into the career mode. The whole idea of Live the Life is a completely new angle for Formula 1 games. Should open us up to a new group of people that have thought Formula 1 games are going to be declining for a long time. But I remember years ago they were extremely popular. Everybody talked about the next Formula 1 game that's come out, and I haven't heard that for years. Hopefully this will spark it again, and this is our first step on a journey that I think will end up with something pretty amazing. But this should be a huge success for us. I've certainly got my fingers crossed.
Just to quickly touch on multiplayer as well, obviously the time trial modes, there's a local time trial party mode so everyone can play on the same machine and be in the championship there. There's Grand Prix mode, which is a traditional mode where you can just have one race, as Steve said earlier, or the custom season or the 2010 season, played as a licensed driver. Career modes that meet what we've been talking about during this presentation, but also multiplayer modes, and there's a variety of multiplayer modes for you to choose from. There's a quick race, jump in, just race a track online, pick the right difficult levels for you. There's a slightly longer one, like an endurance race where 7 or 8 laps and there's a mandatory pit stop, so you get to experience a little bit more of the weather system and pit stops, the damage that makes F1 so unique and so cool. The next level down from that is there's a qualifying session as well. Part of the weather system is a track evolution system that in a dry track, the tracks start off with no grip, they're really quite slippy on the Friday practice session, and the tracks rubber in. What that means during a qualifying session, particularly online, is it pays to stay in the garage and save your tyres and wait till the tracks are rubber in. But if you leave it too late, then there's going to be loads of traffic and you're not going to maximise your car. So it's really a waiting game and a sort of game of chess there. And there's also the ability for you to be able to set up your own game, your own options. You want to do 100% race distance, you want to do these tracks, you want to do these weather conditions, ban these assists, whatever. So anything goes. So there's kind of 4 distinct modes there in multiplayer, and it's 12 players online. That's about it. It's out 23rd of September, simultaneous release PC, Xbox 360, and it's released.
Any questions?
Yeah. Thank you for the presentation. And thank you for driving.
Sorry about the spin.
He's a really quite good driver. He lost to Adrian Sutil yesterday, only on the last quarter. I think he got you in the last quarter.
Don't remind me.
He wasn't in a better car.
Yeah. Okay, also bitte Fragen, ja.
Is the weather system during the race is alternating, as I understood?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. In Grand Prix mode, this is what we just demoed. You can set it to whatever you want. So even if you're at Bahrain or Abu
You
Dhabi,
see something like more not so British weather.
Want to see some sun?
what is Grand Prix? Light rain?
Yeah. I'll throw it into light rain.
Yeah, I mean it's dynamic for the different. In career mode, for example, it's set up to go track, so you don't expect to go to Bahrain and see a thunderstorm, for example. We do tend to show it off quite a lot, so we're quite pleased with it, but it does have sunlight in there as well. But in career mode, it follows a proper pattern.
Yeah,
you
it's
can
quite-
start a race weekend and it's completely dynamic over the course of the weekend.
It's quite difficult to demo in just a short presentation like this, because in
Yeah.
the Grand Prix mode, you're setting it as a predetermined thing. In a Grand Prix, you're looking at sort of 10-20% race distances, and the first track of the F1 season's Bahrain, so you're not likely to see any rain there either. But it really is a sort of dynamic system, and it really introduces some really cool bits when the skies go blue and it's just finished racing, and then you've got to try and make those tyre choices. If it's been raining, you're on wet tyres, you're going to have to seek the pools of water to cool your tyres down, otherwise they're going to just destroy over a few laps. So it really kind of comes into its own, and everyone tends to do a slightly different thing when the weather changes.
And have you built an original weather simulation from online, perhaps, from the original tracks, like in golf, PGA Tour?
Well, yeah, we looked at weather trends and the weather design doc when it first came to the production table, and we were sort of weighing it up. And we really didn't think we were going to get many of the features, but there was so much effort that's gone into it. It's literally been developed for like a year. It's pretty comprehensive. I think you'll even see bits where like trees are overhanging and these bits dry out slower and all sorts of stuff. So the good thing about the weather system was we were able to deal with it as an isolated component because there was nothing previous, so we could design it exactly as we wanted it from the beginning. So this is light weather conditions. What you'll see a little bit more here, obviously it's not so much spray on the road as the cars kick up, but you should start to see the suction effect of the dry line appear cars, and you can kind of get a sense for what it might do if it wasn't raining lightly. Still little pools and puddles there. Just begin to see little dry lines there as all the cars drive around and releasing on there.
When you try the overtake, watch for any counter.
Yes, so the AI defending that we were talking earlier, he knew you were coming, knew you were slipstreaming, and he moved to try and squeeze you, just left it a bit too late. It does help that we were in a much better car. And you died during it.
There's no damages in the demo?
Yeah, there's damage, yeah. Yep. So damage is, there's sort of two discrete components of damage. There's sort of light damage, so from the front, I'll just clip someone. On the front wing, you can just take a little bit off of it, or half the wing, or the whole front wing, and then the driver's got the ability just to be able to add a bit of downforce or lose it. It might be because you're on easy difficulty.
I think it's turned off the damage.
I'll crank it on to expert and just do it.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, little bits of front wing, you'll be adjusting your wing angles. Not enough to really come in and take the pain of a pit stop. You'll probably stay out onto the track. And there's other bits of the car you can damage, like the diffuser underneath, and that has they're slightly off balance the car as well. That's obviously not repairable. And then there's the terminal damage, the wheels coming off, suspension, braking, front wing, rear wing, sorry. And we've also got punches. So if you're constantly driving a good day, really constantly going into gravel traps, you're really hard on your brakes. You're going to get a lot of advice from your race engineer telling you to back off, you need to save the tyres. But if you don't heed that warning, then you'll get punches, and then you need to nurse the car around to the pitch. You'll start to see the tyre move around the front wheel. Obviously, you can't drive anywhere near as fast as you would be able to do normally.
Is the aftermarket system integrated in the game?
It isn't, no. When we're going through this season, we'd come in every morning and look at what the teams have been up to. What we're trying to replicate in the game is that technological race. So there's various upgrades in it. The end-up came in, I think it was just on one team, for example, McLaren. And we thought, is it worth putting that in for all the teams? Nobody else is going to do it. And then another few races go past, and the team's copying it. And then another few races go past, and they're copying it. I think if we had our time again, we would have done that. So what we did this season was that those teams running an F-duct, they've got slightly less drag on the car. So if you take, for example, the McLaren to Spa on Monza, then you know you're going to have that top speed advantage. That's inbuilt into each of the cars. It's dropped for next year. They might do something different with the rear wing, and all the teams will kind of copy that system, and we'll do that. So I think it'll be pretty good. What we have found in recent months, playing lots of multiplayer games, is what we hope we see is that players have more capacity, more time to be thinking about the little things that it can do with the car. So at the moment we've got you can change the front wing as a can in real life, a couple of times a lap, and you can change turning the engine up, turning it down to save its life, save fuel, those kind of things to just play stuff out.